Hello dear students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. DC Saxena, Professor and Head of the Department of Food Engineering and Technology at Sant Longowal Institute of Engineering and Technology, Longowal. I am presenting you the paper Technology of Spices and Condiments. You know, grinding is an important part of the spice processing, but after grinding we have to follow certain standards. So we will be talking about these national and international standards in the present module, and this will be explained to you by my co-author Mr. Narendra Kumar Chandla.
Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Narendra Kumar Chandla from Sant Longowal Institute of Engineering and Technology. Today I am going to talk about module 35 of paper number 10, that is Technology of Spices and Condiments. In this module we will be discussing about national and international standards of the spices. The Spice Board of India is working with International Standards Organizations ISO having clause 67.22010 Spices and Condiments. International Organization of Spice Trading Association, European Spices Association, International Pepper Community and American Spice Trade Association is working with at the same platform so as to achieve the goal of producing quality spices. Countries have set different standards for both intrinsic and appearance of the spices as the extrinsic quality factors. For example, the Indian and Malaysian standards for the aflatoxin in the spices is 30 parts per billion. In Europe, it is 5 parts per billion, and in USA, it is 20 parts per billion. So, we can see how the standards may vary country to country. Similar campaigns have been held in chili growing areas of Andhra Pradesh, seed spices growing areas in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Gujarat, nutmeg growing areas of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, small cardamom growing area of Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, and large cardamom growing area of Sikkim. Meanwhile, the board has invested about rupees 100 crore in setting up a stringent lab, quality evaluation laboratory across the India. The laboratories already are functional in Kochi, Mumbai and Guntur. The laboratories are itself are the state-of-art equipments and have trained professionals so as to manage them. In this module, I will be talking about quality standards of spices across the world. I will also discuss about finished quality attributes required in the products. Introduction. The Spice Board of India is working with International Standards of Organization ISO 67.22010 Spices and Condiments. International Organization of Spice Trading Associations, European Spices Association, International Pepper Community and American Spice Trade Association to achieve the final goal of sustenance of quality standards of spices. Different countries have set different standards for intrinsic quality and appearance of spices and the products derived from the spices. For example, the Indian and Malaysian standards for aflatoxin in the spices is 30 parts per billion ppb. In Europe, it is 5 ppb. and in USA it is 20 ppb. Similarly, the campaigns have been derived in Andhra Pradesh in the field of chili. Campaigns have been held in chili growing areas of Andhra Pradesh, said spices growing areas in Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan and Gujarat, nutmeg growing areas of Kerala and Tamil Nadu, small cardamom growing areas of Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka, and large cardamom growing area of Sikkim. Meanwhile, the board has invested about rupees 100 crores in setting up a string of quality evaluation laboratories across India. The laboratories already functional are in Kochi, Mumbai and Guntur, and they have state-of-art equipment and trained personnel to man them. India is the fourth largest pepper producer in the world, with a production of 67,000 metric tons in 2008. Annual white pepper contribution in India is less than 250 metric tons against the world demand of more than 150,000 metric tons. Indonesia is the largest white pepper producing country, converts about 50% of its pepper to white. Malaysia and Brazil convert about 10% and 5% respectively their pepper to white pepper. At present, India accounts for more than 20% of the world output of the pepper and is also one of the largest consumers and exporters of the pepper. Kerala is the largest producer of pepper, accounting for over 95% of India's total output. Pepper is cultivated in Kerala, in Idukki, Kottayam, Kannur, Calicut and Vanad. Pepper is also cultivated in Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, Andaman and Nicobar Islands and in Pondicherry. Quality standards. International Standards Organization and International Organization of Spice Trading Associations recommend the following standards. First is the Spices and Condiments Standards for determination of extraneous matter content. Second is Spices and Condiments method for the determination of total ash. Third is Spices and Condiments method for the determination of moisture content as an entrainment method. Then fourth is Spices and Condiments sampling method. And fifth is Spices, Condiments and Herbs method for the determination of volatile oil content. Last is labeling of pre-packaged spice stuffs as a foodstuff. Finished spices quality standard. As we know, the spices standards are not only laid down on the basis of the spice which have been grown, harvested or even cultivated, but the most important quality standards are reflected in terms of the finished quality of the spices. Here most important are color, odor and flavor and removal of the insects and prevention of the molds and fungi from the spice products, and extraneous matter, broken and abnormal fruits within the spices and number of fruit per 100 grams. So first we will talk about color. The color of the spices shall be analyzed. For example, for the brownish red or reddish brown. Another is odor and flavor. Spices and condiments have a characteristic odor and have an aromatic sweet flavor. Freedom from insects and molds. Spices shall be free from living insects and shall be practically free from molds, dead insects, insect fragments and rodents contamination, which is visible to naked eyes. Correct it if necessary for abnormal vision, or with such magnification as may be necessary in any particular case, that is, extraneous matter. For the purpose of this, Gulf standards for the spices says that all that does not belong to the star, anise fruit or any other spice fruit, and all other extraneous matters of animal, vegetable or mineral origin shall be considered as extraneous matter. The total percentage of extraneous matter in the star anise shall not be more than 2%. The proportion of the stocks shall not be more than 3% when determined by specified method. Then is broken and abnormal fruits. Broken fruits are classified as fruits which contain fewer than 5 follicles, while abnormal or undeveloped fruits are categorized as those containing 3 or more underdeveloped follicles. The portion of broken and abnormal fruits shall not be more than 25% when tested by the method specified. And last is number of the fruits per 100 grams. The number of star anise fruit shall not be less than 130% out of 100 gram when tested by specified method. As we have talked about finished spices quality standards, now within this we will be talking about chemical requirements. Spices shall comply with the standards specified when tested by specified method. Characteristic requirement test method includes our moisture content, total ash, volatile oil on dry basis, etc. Packing. Star anise shall be packed in clean and sound packages made up of material which does not affect the product but which protect it from the ingress or loss of the moisture or the volatile matter. The sampling. Sampling shall be carried out as specified by specific methods. Test methods. Samples of the star anise or any other spices shall be analyzed to ensure conformity with the requirements of this with the international standards by the following methods of physical or chemical analysis as specified. We will be talking about labeling. Without prejudice to what is stated in the International Standard of Organizations mentioned in 2.6 clause for spices and condiments, the following information shall be labeled on the container. First is name of the product and the trade name. Second is name and address of the producer or packer or the trademark of the company. Third is batch number or the code number. Fourth is net mass or we say net weight. Then fifth is producing country. We should have the tag or the identity in terms of the manufactured by in terms of the country. And sixth is destination. For example, name of the port or the city and if required. Any other marking required by purchaser such as year of harvest or year of production and date of packing possibly is a reference to this standard. As per the European Spice Association, specification of quality minima for herbs and spices are as extraneous matter. For herbs it is 2%, spices it is 1%. Sampling. For routine sampling, square root of units divided by lots to a maximum of 10 samples. Foreign matter, maximum of 2% of foreign matter may be there. Ash refers to annexure. Acid insoluble ash, it is referred to annexure. Water refers to annexure. As far as packaging is concerned, it should be agreed with the buyer and the seller. If made up of jute or sisal, they should conform to the standards set by Cao Bisco, reference number C50251, SGA of 200295. However, these materials are not favored by industry as they are a source of product contamination with loose fibers from the sacking entering the product. Heavy metals. Heavy metal shall comply with the national legislations. Then is the pesticides. Pesticide shall be utilized in accordance with the manufacturer's recommendations and as per as the good agricultural practices and should comply with existing national legislations. Treatments. Under the treatments, use of any European Commission approved fumigants in accordance with the manufacturer's instruction to be indicated on accompanying document. Like irradiation should not be used unless agreed between buyer and seller. Microbiology. As far as microbiology is concerned, salmonella should be absent in 25 grams of sample. Yeast and molds 105 per gram of target and 106 per gram of absolute as a maximum value. E. coli should be 102 per gram and 103 per gram as an absolute maximum as a colony forming units. Other requirements to be agreed between buyer and seller. Then is the off orders. As far as off orders are concerned, the spice product shall be free from off order or taste. Then is infestation. Infestation should be free in practical terms from live or dead insects, insect fragments and rodent contamination visible to naked eyes. And is aflatoxin should be grown, harvested, handled and stored in such a manner as to prevent the occurrence of the aflatoxin or minimize the risk of occurrence. If found, level should be comply with the existing norms of European Union legislations. Then is volatile oil, it is reference to that of annexure. Adulteration shall be free from bulk density to be agreed between the buyer and the seller. Spices to be agreed between the buyer and the seller. These are the specific spices. And documents should provide details of any treatments that the product has undergone. Name of the product, weight of the product, country of the origin and lot identification in terms of batch number or even the year of harvest or the production. Chemical standard methods of spices. Under this, we will be covering moisture content, steam volatile oil, total ash, acid insoluble ash, heavy metals and pesticides. First is moisture content. Measures the amount of volatile matter given off of a prepared sample under specified conditions. Elevated moisture content can increase the livelihood of the microbial growth. Second is the steam volatile oil. Measures the amount of water insoluble steam volatile oil present in a prepared sample. In many products, volatile oil is an indication of product quality. Number 3 is the total ash. Measures the amount of carbon-free ash present in a prepared sample. This test gives an indication of quality and purity of a product, as all organic material will burn off living dirt, silica, etc. Other method is acid and soluble ash. This test measures, after total ash, the amount of acid insoluble ash present in a prepared sample as a spice sample. This test gives an indication of the quality and purity of the spices. And fifth is heavy metal test. This test measures metallic impurities in a prepared product spice sample. No product may exceed the tolerance level that have been set for each specific metal. Then is the pesticides. This method measures the amount of pesticide residue that a prepared sample of spice contains. No product may exceed the tolerances that have been set for each specific pesticides. Physical standard methods of spices. Under physical standard methods of spices, we do have particle size, foreign organic matter, foreign inorganic matter, and depth density of the spices and the spice products. First is the particle size. A sieve analysis is used to measure the total particle size distribution of a prepared spice sample, whether the product is in the form of a powder, cut or shifted, or tea bag cut. Particle size analysis can help a customer judge whether a product is suitable for their application. Second is foreign organic matter. This measures the amount of prepared spice sample that is of a foreign organic nature. This is a measure of purity of the product and thus the quality of the finished product. Third is foreign inorganic matter. This measures the amount of prepared spice sample that is of a foreign inorganic nature. This is a measure of purity of product and thus the quality of the finished product. Fourth is the depth density. As spices have been converted into powders, therefore density of the prepared spice sample in grams per ml requires to be measured. This test can help one discern packaging and encapsulation requirements. Microbial standard methods of spices. Under microbial standard methods of spices, we do have to standardize total aerobic plate counts, yeast and mold, coliform, E. coli, salmonella species, etc. These needs to be monitored for their growth and control. Total aerobic plate count. This test allows for the detection and enumeration of aerobic microorganisms. This test gives an indication of the cleanliness of a product in terms of microbiology. Second is yeast and mold. This test allows for detection and enumeration of yeast and mold microorganisms. This test gives an indication of the cleanliness of the product. Third is coliform. This test allows for the detection and enumeration of the coliform. Fourth is E. coli. This test allows for detection and enumeration of Escherichia coli bacteria. Fifth is Salmonella species. This test allows for detection and enumeration of Salmonella bacteria. So these all needs to be standardized prior to the packaging of the final product. Instrumental standards methods of spices. As we know, spices need to be checked for their flavors and aromas and other bioactive components, and this is done by instrumental methods which are been standardized nationally and internationally. First is microscopic. Evaluation of spice sample based upon the visual inspection with the aid of a high-powered microscope of cells, cell walls, cell structure and other characteristics of the spices. Second is HPTLC. This stands for High Performance Thin Layer Chromatography. This is an essential tool to accurately determine product identity and purity. By quantifying or comparing the distribution pattern of the marker compounds is different solvent systems, unique to each plant and class of bioactive components. Against of proprietary biobotanical reference library, our laboratory personnel can verify the product, identify it, and then see it for the adulteration. HPLC stands for High Pressure Liquid Chromatography. This test provides verification of the product identity as well as quantitative determination of active constituents when tested against a reference standard. Then fourth is GC. GC stands for gas chromatography. This test provides verification of the product identity as well as quantitative determination of active constituents when tested against a reference standard. New quality standards for the spices. In response to the sector's growth and the extraordinary diversity of the trade and its products, the Globe Food Standards Body, the Codex Alimentarius Commission, known as CAC, last year established the Codex Committee on Spices and Culinary Herbs, known as CCSCH. The new committee is hosted by India and is responsible for promoting worldwide quality standards for many of the most important spices and culinary herbs. By developing such standards, Codex wants to contribute to first is safety, then is quality and fairness of the international standards of spices and herbs in terms of the trade. Then is the new committee will be the part of the continuing efforts to establish quality standards at a global level for many of the world's most important spices such as black pepper, vanilla and nutmeg, and herbs like rosemary, thyme and basil. So students, let us now summarize what we have learned in this module. As we know, the standards set by nation and the standard across the globe are very different. So we need a common platform like CAC, Codex Alimentarius Commission, which further works with the national standards of a particular country, and then we should have a common platform to distinguish the standards which are different in the different countries. The Spice Board of India is working with the international organization across the globe so as to achieve the goal of the quality product as per as Codex Alimentarius Commission standards. As we know, CAC is working with the Spice Board in collaboration with the National Codex Control Board of Food Safety and Standard Authority of India, New Delhi. The standards have been set for color, odor, flavor, freedom from the insects, molds, extraneous matters, broken and abnormal foods, and for the number of foods per 100 grams. The standards were further fractionated in terms of the chemical residue, packing material, test methods, and for labeling of the packaging materials. Different countries have set different standards for both intrinsic and extrinsic quality in terms of appearance of the spices and the inherent quality of the spices. The board has invested about rupees 100 crores in setting up a stringe lab, quality evaluation laboratory across the India. The laboratories which are already functional in India situated at Kochi, Mumbai and Guntur. These laboratories have state-of-the-art equipments and trained professionals so as to assess the better quality and storage behavior of the spices and even the products which are made out of these spices. This is all about the national and the international standards of the spices. Thank you.
We have seen how important these national and international standards are, because if you want to export any spices, it has to follow certain standards. Sometimes these are being rejected by the European Union or by different countries in lack of international standards which are not followed. So, before exporting, we have to follow these international standards, and even at national level, we have to follow these standards which are very much important for the spices. Thank you.